Back new YouTube, it's me on our way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Shout out to a lady who I consider a friend. This lady who gives me information. I give her information. You know, we did an interview some time ago. I appreciate and I love both her and her husband, Mr. Big Keith Williams. Hope he's doing well. This is one IFB Pro, Mrs. Tina S. Williams. And Tina dropped me some information yesterday that they just announced the list for the 2022 Rising Phoenix Women's Bodybuilding World Championship. And you know, the Rising Phoenix has been around. It's been around since this is going to be its 7th year. Now, it was created after 2015. And 2015, after, as all we know, as I like to say, as bodybuilding worked behind female bodybuilding and stepped in the heart. The IVB did that. When they dropped Miss Olympia from the Olympia lineup. Pretty much from almost any of the shows. There was like so many shows that did have female bodybuilding, but they dropped them too. And we like to thank guys like Jake Wood. We also like to thank Tim Gardner, who kept a stage for female bodybuilding. So anyway, this is the list. And you know, it's a good amount of lists. I just got 17 ladies here. Well, 16 actually, and one are possible. As you know, you have the some of these competitors are, one most definitely, as we all know, is Andrew Shaw. And Andrew Shaw is the current Rising Phoenix champion. Last year, she took the title. Then he had Michaela Aycock, Asha Hadley, Marcela Pasele, and Leah Denny. And, you know, Andrea, we all know Andrea's going to win. Andrea's going to get her third car and another $50,000. But there was one controversy where I think she was in 2020 when she got most muscular. Even though Andrea looks pretty good, but she wasn't, to me, that year most muscular. And, you know, if you've watched my videos before, you know who I say was most muscular that year. Anyway, you have Mo Pasele. You know, Mo took 4th at the Olympia. We haven't seen her compete yet. Because she's already got 12 points for qualification for the Olympia, but she'd be better off trying to do a show because she said some points. You know, other girls can do 2 or 3 shows and maybe get enough points to qualify. And she's a passer, so Mona got to do. She's in Canada. I'm surprised she's in Toronto Pro. That's where she could have got her qualification. You know. Also at Leah Denny. Now Miss Denny, she won New York Pro last year, and she's one of the second or oldest women in this show. She's a mother. You know, I did videos about her. I even congratulate her on getting her, invitation. And she said thank you because, you know, we talked back on social media a bit. I'm waiting, hoping we should get a chance. I'd love to get her on the live stream, tell a story about her life, her kids, everything else, and how she got supported bodybuilding. Like, I love people like this. I want to give them attention. Then also we have Michaela Aycock. Now, Michaela, she earned her qualification at the Olympia at the Omaha last year, but we don't know what show she's doing. You know, she's been kind of a hush-hush. So the possibility she might try to do Chicago, maybe Atlanta. You know, a lot of these girls are really working on making improvements for these other shows, and then missing the shows where they can get the qualifications from. So we can wait to see. And you know, she's probably one of the smallest women in this lineup because she's like, I think Michaela's like barely 5 feet tall, but she really packs on some good muscle, and she has a youth advantage of it. She's not even 30 yet. Then next we have the big Swede herself, Irene Anderson. Now last year Irene got most muscular. She didn't do too well. I think she took 12th or 13th at the last Rising Phoenix, but she's always coming size and condition. I mean, you know, but she took 5th. She's 5th on the Miss Olympia lineup, but she still has to qualify. She only has 11 points, so she has to do a show. She might do like the Portugal is coming up in the week after this next Saturday, and that could get a qualification for the Olympia. She has to, you know, what she can do shows here in the States. It's all dependent on her. I know I reached out to her. She was hanging out with Hella Trina in Mexico, and I say, "Well, you think about doing a show here? You know, maybe want to stay in New York, in the States for a while." But she said she has things back there. She had family up there, so yeah, I can understand. I respect that. But this would have been a great opportunity for her maybe get qualification in some of the early shows. Then you have Myla Ash. Now, Myla, as you know, she earned her qualification at Toronto. She has a shot. Now, last year she earned a qualification. It was the I think it was the New York. Was the New York? No, it was one of the shows she earned a qualification for this year. She earned it for New York, and then she earned it in another show, and then she did a couple more shows after the Olympia. That was the Meridian Muscle Fest, and also the Toronto Pro, and she earned her qualification to Toronto Pro. So, you know, Myla, she's great vision. I'm a big fan of Myla. She reminds me of one of my favorite bodybuilders, as Vicky Gates. and I hope to see her compete this year. I hope she, we see her do a show. But she already has the qualification, but we know she can do Rising Phoenix and she's gonna do Olympia. Now, here's a lady who I've become acquainted with. I'm hoping to get a chance to see her because coming up in July the 2nd, she's going to be attending a seminar here in North Carolina in Fayetteville. I got to find a location of the place so I can go there. So I'm going to reach out to my man, and that's Mrs. Rashad Boswell. Now, Rashad, she earned her qualification at Puerto Rico, her second bodybuilding qualification. She's been to the Olympia 4 times, once as a physique competitor, and the last 3 times as a bodybuilder. The first time by points, and the last 2 times by winning a show. So she looked pretty good at the Puerto Rico, and she was going to Chicago to try to earn a qualification, but she decided to do Puerto Rico. And even though it was like cutting her prep short by 2 or 3 weeks, she did pretty good. She beat one of the women who was supposed to be winning that show, but she was impressive. But we can't wait to see how she look at Chicago, because I know she said she signed up for Chicago. She had to fill that contract with Chicago. We have one Miss Nadia Kappa Soto. Nadia is a lovely Italian woman. I'm a fan of Nadia. I remember when she did the Olympia last year, she was sitting there, she was crying. She has beautiful eyes. She has a beautiful physique. She, kind of made history, earned her qualification twice in 1 year. She won a Puerto Rico Pro, and then turned around, won the Arena Muscle Fest, and then she did the one more show, which was the Big Man Weekend in Spain. And she's impressive. I love her physique. She has a great lines, great classic physique. I hope she might make some improvements. Adjustments might even come in with a little more size. So we will see how she's going to do at the Rising Phoenix, and also how you do it in Olympia. Here we have a lady who has been around for who's been kind of out of the scene for quite some time. She hadn't done a Rising Phoenix in almost maybe 4 or 5 years. And this is Lisa Cross. Now, Lisa, she lives in England. And Lisa, she's kind of busy. She's been doing some adult entertainment. And also, she's on social media quite a bit. And we don't know what show she's going to do. She might try to do Portugal, or she has always in the history has competing like Toronto and not Toronto, Tampa, Chicago. She might try to shoot for those shows. But there's the Portugal and coming up in July 10th. She might try to do that one. But it's all up to her. We got to wait and see with Lisa. Next up we have Chelsea Dion. Now Chelsea has announced that she's doing Chicago. Chelsea earned her pro qualification at the Nationals last December. And she's pretty impressive. She did bodybuilding for a while, went to physique, and then went to switch to bodybuilding. And she's a Wing Strength ambassador this year, just like Lisa and some of the other ladies who are on this list. So we will see how she can look. I mean, she's looking pretty impressive. Then we have Asha Hadley. I'm a fan of Asha Hadley. I've been a fan when she was back in physique. And she, last she did Olympia was 2016 as a physique competitor. Then she done it in 2020 when she won the Savannah Pro. She competed at the last Rising Phoenix, but she took 6th place. I was surprised she got that low. She's a great physique. Question is what show she's gonna do. Maybe Atlanta, Savannah. Maybe come back to Savannah and try to reclaim a title, or Atlanta, which is a lot closer to her. She lives in Texas, but I'm a fan of Asha Hadley. She's impressive. She had a great physique and great look to her. Next up, we have Michelle Jenn. Now, Michelle Jenn sits on the points leadership by 22 points. Michelle did Toronto last year, which earned some points. Did New York about a month ago, you might as well say, and also turned around and did Toronto again. And she's 22 points qualification for the Olympia. So she's doing this Rising Phoenix. So wish her good luck. She might do another show, because you can't sit on 22 points. So 22 points may not guarantee you qualification. You may want to do one more show, see if you can qualify by winning or qualify by making more points. Now we have Jeannie Nikowski. I follow Janine. We try to keep in contact. She's a busy lady. She's a coach. She's a dog mom. She got a lot of things she got to do. Janine's question is what she's going to do. Probably Tampa. She's done Tampa before because she lives in around Tampa. Also, she might even do Savannah. She's done it before one time. And she might even try to do Atlanta. We just wait and see. But, she's always been a gamer and, just impressive woman. One of the legends in the sport. Next up is a lady who I'm, become acquainted with, done an interview with, amazing lady, as Mrs. Sheena Olick. Now, Sheena, she was working the booth for Puerto Rico. She looked pretty good. I thought she might have done it. She could have, if you wanted to, she could have jumped on the stage. But Sheena, she had some surgery, sort of surgery early in the year, and she looked like she's ready. She did Chicago last year, which earned her first Olympic qualification, and she might do Chicago again because to defend her title. So if I was her, I'd keep another show in your pocket just in case. So if you don't win that show, you can maybe try to get more points. But I'm a fan of Sheena Olick. Here we have a lady who I'm a fan of, a legend. Just like Lisa Cross. Her and Lisa Cross were the last two women to earn pro qualification through the NPC. And back in 2013, they won the both the Arnold European Classic, and it's, Virginia Sanchez, and I love Virginia. Now she applied. She hadn't competed since I think 2018. She applied a couple of times. I know I was following her on social media. She wanted to come when we put her application back in 2020 after she won the remaining Muscle Fest. But what happened was, the fact was she, had issues with, especially we were traveling, it caused suspense. We still were going through the virus, and she was doing quarantine in Mexico. So she just settled just to do the Olympia, and she made the top 10 Olympia last year. I love her physique. She has great lines, amazing body. I mean, she's just, I'm a fan of her. I follow her on social media and certain websites. I think she's just great physique. Just classic throwback. I mean, just love her physique. Next up, we have my dear friend, lovely lady, who I think she's an amazing woman. She is Wonder Woman herself, and that is Mrs. Tina S. Williams. And Tina, she's doing this show. She's been doing the Rising Phoenix ever since she was Miss National winner. And she right now she has a couple of shows in the pocket. We were talking a while back. She really shitted herself not doing the Olympia. I mean the Omaha, because she felt like if she done Omaha, she probably could have got an invitation. She could have got her qualification. But things are, she got a lot of stuff. She's busy now. Also, she's dealing with my big brother, Big Keith, his injuries. But she's a strong woman. She's doing some shows coming up in the next couple of months. And I wish her best of luck, because I want her at least get an opportunity in Olympia. But you still go to Rising Phoenix. She's a Rising Phoenix ambassador. She gets invitational, but maybe this year, if she hits the right show, she's in great condition. She's seen me pictures. She's in amazing condition. And I think she probably might even earn her first Olympic qualification. So good luck to you, Tina. Now, as you know, the 17th person is the winner of the Miss International. Miss International became a pro qualifier at Chicago Pro. Back then, Miss International was a very great secondary title for people who were competing. Like, you knew you were gonna be Olympia as long as you had Iris or Linda or Corey holding the title. You're going to be every Miss Olympia. So you had a nice title. It's only a handful of women who have both Miss Olympia and Miss International. But this show it's a pro qualifier. It's the last win we had Sandra Hewins, if I got the name right, and she won as a middleweight. She beats the other top women who win in their classes, and she what happened was she kind of disappeared. The big question is, why didn't she compete? This is the first time in history you had a Rising Phoenix without the Miss International champion. Tina has been champion. Susan Jacobs, Una Hippick, a couple other ladies I can't think of right now. But, it's the first year we didn't have, last year was the first year we didn't have a Miss International champion for the Rising Phoenix. So, the big question, I reached out to her about doing an interview. I think she's seeing it. I'm waiting for her. I know she's busy. She's a trainer in California. I'm hoping she can get a response, but we're going to see who's going to be the winner of the Miss International this year and get their chance to compete. Because usually what sometimes they do, the ladies who win the pro cards would do both the Chicago show and do, and then they, that's a good opportunity for them. But like I say, we want to hopefully see more of Miss He Wins in the future. Now, one lady we know is most definitely not competing this year, and that is Hella Trevino. And the big Danish goddess, she had to take a set out because she had shoulder surgery around the first of this month, and she was in Mexico. She was staying there recovering. She did some booths. New York, she did New York booth, for the New York Classic, and she did the the Puerto Rico booth over there in Puerto Rico. So she's just recently moved from California, where she lived for like 10 years, to Dubai, because her trainer Nasir is there. So she's going over there to work, to train, stack her chips, make some money, and possibly she has some next year, because she took second at last year's Olympia. But because of this injury, she has to re-qualify for next year. So I think she can look. This was a show where she was under Sylvie Starnes. Then she switched to Nasir, and she looked a lot better at the Olympics in the Rising Phoenix. She really made the adjustments, And I think with this time off, now she's getting closer to a trainer. I think she might look about. She might be maybe 2023 will be a year. This talk says she might retire, but I think she might stick in one more year because the fact that year being this injury. Like remember back about around after 2003 when she competed in her first Olympia, she had got injured and then she was out for almost 8 years and she came back. She was competing steadily ever since then. But this injury might decided she might want to compete a little longer. But we will wait and see. I hope she joins in Dubai, and maybe we'll get to see her compete here in the States next year. So 2023 is going to be her year. Another lady who it seems like is not on the list, but I know she's Miss Ambassador, is Natalia Kovaleva. And Natalia has competed at the Rising Phoenix at least a couple of times. She is amazing physique. She's young, very amazing physique, and she just needs adjustments. She might be working some booths, or she might do a show, or she might just take a year off and make the adjustment. But she, as long as you, put your application in, we the strength gonna, depending if you're one of their favorites, they're gonna, let you come in anyway. But she has to. I think she's trying to do a show, and we want to really come in great presentation and do a show. Now we have one lady who I'm a fan of. I love this lady. I did a birthday video for her, and and I sent it to her. She was really appreciative when I recognized her birthday, and that is one Mrs. Monique Jones. I'm a big fan of Monique Jones. Now, I'm going to say this. In 2020, when they had the most muscular award went to Andrew Shaw, it should have went to Monique. Now, Andrew looked great, but she wasn't most muscular compared to Monique. And, Monique, she's a mother. I think her daughter graduated from college some time ago. She's a trainer, a coach. I think she's really focused on, and I'm going to suggest to my friend of mine who I was talking to, if you need somebody to be a good coach, like I said, Monique is in South Carolina. She's next door to me. I'd love to interview someday. And I might suggest her for, somebody. I got a guy who's talking to. He looking for somebody to help his client. This must be a good person to talk to because, she's not competing this year. So she's not competing. I don't think she's competing. She works in the booths, but she's not competing. So, I can understand. She could set back last year. She was in the points leadership for points, but she decided to take a step back from competing. Here we have Christina Mendoza. And Christina, she's been competing for a good while. She competed in her first Rising Phoenix back in 2019, but the last couple of times she did put her application, but she didn't come up. She didn't show up. Back in 2020, she did the Savannah Pro. I think she made top 5. Then she made top 3 at the Chicago, and then just didn't do any shows. Now she moved to Las Vegas some time ago, where she's training. There's a possibility she might compete this year, or she might wait next year. But, I think she's a great look to her. She has those feminine features, great physique. She's really thick in the thighs, but she might need to work on some better condition in other parts of the body. But, we just wait to see what she's going to do. Also, we have somebody who used to be more, I would say, kind of a company woman. That's Nikki Chartrand. Now, Nikki did a couple of shows last year, the Savannah, the North Fork, and she also competed with Rising Phoenix. She won, I think, Best Poser at one of the shows. I think it was the Savannah. And I think this year she won for one of the, at the Rising Phoenix, you have 3 special awards. You have Most Muscular, Best Poser, and Best Video. And I think she won one of those awards for Best Video, I believe. I think it's the top 3. So the big question is why she's not winning Strength Ambassador like she was the last couple of years. I don't know. Like I said, it's just, she may take a break for a while. She might be just, if she was winning Strength Ambassador, if she wasn't competing, she can work the booths. But my guess, I don't know. It's just up in the air about her. Then we have Donna Sleep. Now, Donna Sleep is the Women's Strength Ambassador, and she won New York Pro about, good 2 or 3 weeks ago, but she didn't make the list. I don't know how she didn't make the list. She was Women's Strength Ambassador. The majority of women on this list, except for maybe a couple, are Women's Strength Ambassadors. So, the big question is why she's not on this list. That's kind of controversial. She just won New York Pro, which is like a second-tier show, but like I said, I'm just a fan. I'm not a judge. And then we have here is Teresa Invasic, who just won the Indy about a little over a month ago. And Teresa looked pretty good. She was going to do New York, but she cut a prep for the Indy. And she, she looked great. I watched that live stream because it was cheap. It was $10. And I watched it, and she looked very impressive. She really showed out for this show. But the quick question is, she's been, she competed in the Rising Phoenix 2 or 3 times, but last year, because she switched over to physique, she wasn't competing as a White Street, and she was an ambassador. But now she's ambassador again, and she's qualified for the Olympia for her second time. But the question is why she's not on at the Rising Phoenix. Then we have a little lady who I've become, acquainted with. This is the Miss Eva Montgomery. Now, Eva stepped up. She went over and did the Vancouver show. Was the only female bodybuilder to do that show, and she got a qualification that way. She lives in Washington State, which is a lot closer to British Columbia. She's got to hit over to her and her friend Layla. They hit onto was it a boat and went over there and did a show, and she won. She had just show up, but she looks pretty impressive. She's got a lot of mass development. Reach out to her. She's happy. She's waiting to do a show. The question is why she's not in this show. I think she could win most muscular. She's a massive Amazon. So I'm just wondering why, I know she, like some other ladies, she put in the invite, because I sent the thing to a lot of ladies that I follow, because somebody sent it to me and told me that this is the application for the winter strength, and somebody sent it in, but still hadn't get picked up. But it's a mystery. It's such a mystery. Then you have Alicia Codry. Now Alicia's not an ambassador either, but she won the Toronto Pro. So you think that, hey, she, like some other ladies who won their shows, you think she'd get an invite. But, I don't know. I feel like I love the Rising Phoenix. It's a great show, but I feel like it's not being exclusive to competitors like it should. Here we have Julia Furry. Now, Julia, she took second at the Puerto Rico about a couple of weeks ago. And, she's a Wing Strength ambassador. I'm surprised, especially with her looks, how popular she is. I'm really surprised she's not a Wing Strength at the Rising Phoenix. I don't know if she put up an application or not. What she should have did was there was the Brazilian show last weekend. She should have went there. I mean, all she needed maybe just a little couple of adjustments. She probably could have won that show. But like I said, it's all up to what the competitors want to do, what they feel like to do, or does she even know about the show? That could also be a possibility. But Julie has a great look to her. She's very popular. She was supposed to won the Puerto Rico, but my dear friend Rashana came in the better condition, so she deserved to win that show. Then we have one person who's going to be, I believe, totally MIA for the rest of the year, and that is Stephanie Fletcher. Now, last year, Stephanie, she was competing in physique. After Omaha, she made the switch. She did Tampa, and she did Chicago. She took third at Chicago, got fifth at Tampa, and she already had enough points to qualify for the Olympia. Because I think Tampa and I think Chicago are third tier shows or fourth tier shows. Third tier or second tier shows. I can't remember. But for some reason she took a step back. You had your first time in qualification. Now she had a foot injury she got at New York. She places down on IG. It's a plantar fasciae, I think it is. A fascius plantar is a foot injury, so she might be out for the rest of the season. Or if it's not too severe, she had enough time to train. She might try to do Tampa or maybe Savannah, or she can try one of the shows later in the year, like the Romanian Muscle Fest, or probably Europa Championships over in the overseas. I think that keep that in your pocket. Truthfully, keep that in your pocket. Some ladies, they need to try some of these overseas shows. It could be a great opportunity to get qualification, but the cost of going overseas, and especially if some countries still have restrictions with the virus. But I think she should put that in her pocket if she gets well enough to compete. Then, lady who has been the first two-time Rising Phoenix champion, Margie V Martin. Now, Margie hadn't competed at the Rising Phoenix since 2019, but when the announce of returning of female bodybuilding to the Olympia, she mostly concentrated on Olympia now, because that's the big show. Now, she's one of the only few people on this list who've done the Olympia before its return, back in 2013, 2014. I'm a big fan of Margie. She has great physique. She took second at 2020, then took third last year. Margie moved to Vegas some time ago. She's starting a business. This might be her last year to compete. As this was rumors I hear, because she competed for quite some time. She competed for at least almost, been competing about 13, 14 years almost. And I think, she wants to focus on other things. She got a new job. She got a new career. She's on social media a lot. She's amazing. I love her. Her body's amazing. She looks really good. But, Andrea Shaw is a tough nut to crack. The other lady who I'm a fan of, and that is Alicia Young. At the 2020 show, she took, 2021. 2020. She took fourth place. And she looked great. And in the last couple of times, she won most muscular award. But she looked great. She looked tighter, a lot more defined. The question is, what's happened to her. Well, I saw some doing interviews. Her mother. If you follow Isabel, her Fit Rocks podcast, Alicia's mother was sick. She had cancer, and I think she was tending to her, and that really took her out from the shows for a good while. Alicia, she still does stuff on the side. She does some modeling. She has to take care of her daughter because she's a mother. And great question. Last year she had enough points where she could qualify to Olympia, and we'll wait and see if she can do another show. Maybe get maybe qualify by winning a show. But it was just up in the air. And she's been a West Street ambassador for quite some time, but this year she's not. She's not an ambassador this year, so I'm surprised. I'm just surprised about that. But she might be. Like I say, Alicia's just in her late 30s now. She's still young. She might take some time off, make some adjustments. She might come back. It's just we cross our fingers. We want to see Alicia Young come back. We want to see her come back. Then we have LaDon Lede. LaDon, she's not too much on social media. She got IG because she became Women's Strength Ambassador. But, she's not a lot of social media. With her, she's up in the air. She's disappeared. Now, she won her first qualification by winning the Tampa Bay back in 2020. And then turn around, she won the Norfolk Pro. To me, that was a controversy. I don't think she deserved, that high of a placing, especially how Nikki Chartre and Jeannie Nikowski looked that year. So, the question is what she's doing. She's competing this year or she's done. Some women might take a time off to sit and rest. LaDon's also a teacher, so she probably want to spend more time with her, more of a private life. So, we'll find out this year. If not, then we can see her next year. Now, this is the entry form for the Rising Phoenix. And I remember some ladies showed me, they told me they were competing. They sent it to me on my IG, and I passed it out to other ladies. And some ladies they applied, but they got turned down. And what I mean, this is a show that should be more. This is my belief, and this is just me. If you don't have to share my belief for this, I think a lot of the competitors who have earned their qualification for Olympia should take a step back and let the other ladies who hadn't earned their qualification, who needed points, maybe for next year's Olympia, this should be more of an inclusive show, like Mr. National was. Mr. National is a great show. The application goes by all applicants must submit a letter of intent together with their competitive history and photos, both recent and from previous competitions. The invitation event is open to all IFB Pro female athletes of any division. But just because this is also the Rising Phoenix and also the Arizona Pro, and also it's also a Pro-Am show. We have the I think it's the Arizona Extravaganza. Now, who intend to compete in women's bodybuilding division? Most of these women's bodybuilding this is for. Applications will be received from May 1st to June 1st. The panel of judges will be reviewing all applicants, will consist of Tyler Mannion, who's the son of Jim Mannion. The grandson of Jim Mannion, the son of Steve Mannion, vice president of the NBC and NBC Worldwide and the IFB Professional League. Sidney Williamson, NBC and IFB Williams president and head judge, along with the Wings of Strength committee of Jake Wood, Wings of Strength and Olympia owner. Alex Sakasa, I think it is, VP of U.S. Operations, Alina Popa, VP of European Operations, and Linda Murray, 8-time Miss Olympia and official spokeswoman. Now, applicants may send their letters at Rising Phoenix application, which is RP application, but I say it's Rising Phoenix, at wingsofstrength.net. The deadline is June 1st, 2022. All athletes will be selected by mid-June and announced by June 20, 2022. Now, this is the whole thing of it. But there's some women who told me they applied but never got picked. I know Tina, she said she got her, certification in the email. And some other ladies who she told me to apply but didn't apply. Now, the thing about the Rising Phoenix, this should be more of an inclusive show. It should be more for all the competitors, even the ones who didn't win the show, for the ones who want to get qualification. The ones who get the qualifications, he step a step back. He's focused on Olympia. Now, women's bodybuilding Olympia, focus on the Olympia. I know this is about branding and everything else, but still, I think, after what happened to Iris, and what happened to Miss Olympia and Miss International, when Arnold, who did this year to the physique division, walked right behind them and stabbed in the heart we pushed out Miss Olympia because Miss International, because with Linda, Iris winning multiple Miss Internationals, except for that one year. But it's not fair. I think you shouldn't be punished for what happened in the past. And now that female bodybuilding is back into the Olympia, the Rising Phoenix should be a secondary title, like Miss International was. A secondary title for female bodybuilders who know, like, okay, I'm not going to beat Andrea Shaw, And, Andrea's tough nut to crack. She is impressive. She has great looks. She has very feminine features, great muscles. I mean, she should skip this show. I know she already has 2 cars. Why get a third one? Yeah, $50,000 is great. But the fact is, I think the Olympia, Jake runs the Olympia now. They should hike the price up for Miss Olympia, $100,000. If she gets $100,000, she wouldn't have to do the Rising Phoenix unless she wants to. You get maybe a couple $100,000. She can focus, and also she can promote more shows to get that money. She take some money, cut it after taxes, and try to promote some more shows, create some shows. Do like Linda Murray, be a brand like Linda Murray. Now, as you know, the Rising Phoenix is the main show. It's the Women's Bodybuilding World Championship. It's also the Wings of Strength supports the Arizona Pro, which is also for the other divisions like women's physique, figure, bikini, fitness, and wellness. Those other divisions. And also, it's NPC Arizona Women's Extravaganza. It's a National Pro Qualifier. So this is an all-ladies show. No sharing stage with banana hammocks. There hadn't been a show like that since the Jan Tanner back in the day. I was a big fan of Jan Tanner. It was a straight ladies show. You said stage with the men, but they were talking about tickets price, and that's why they stopped it. And that's the tough part. But it's tough for them. But now this show is more inclusive for more divisions. And like I said, the women really need their own spotlight. It's not enough people want to promote it because the fact is there's no men attached to it. But if I was promoting, take a chance because this is a great opportunity. You have amazing women, some top levels of women in the different divisions: women's bodybuilding, women's physique, figure, fitness, bikini, wellness, and also up and comers. So you should, if you are a promoter, you want to put your name to something, you should put your name to your show. Rising Phoenix been around for at least 7 years. It's going to be 7 years coming up. In November. And, it's a great show. It's a great opportunity for ladies to get themselves on the map. And I think also, I still believe that this should be more of an inclusive show. I think a lot of ladies who earn a qualification in Olympia should take a step back and let other ladies who want to earn a qualification, who want to get points for the next Olympia. You think about it. And come on, Andrea already has 2 cars. What's she going to do a third one? I'm sorry. It's just, but like I said, this is just me talking as a person who follows this sport, who's a fan of these women, who respect their commitment and passion to it. But like I said, the show is going to be on November 5th. No one's definitely knowing, Jake Wood and Wings of Strength is going to be a live stream. Check it out. It's going to be in Chandler, Arizona. It's not going to be Phoenix. Too expensive to do a Phoenix, so do it in Chandler. And, it's going to send you the link to Rising Phoenix. You can check it out. You want to watch the live stream, that's great. Watch amazing women competing. They don't have to share a stage with men. They're not in the shadow of men anymore. This is their opportunity to shine. And I'd like to give a shout out to Jake Wood, to Tim Gardner for giving a platform, giving a stage for these women that didn't have one after 2014. So much appreciation to them and to everybody else. So like I said, check it out. It's going to be November 5th. Support women in bodybuilding like I do. I want to see these ladies do great. And it's me, all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't subscribe. I'm out.